hello there. I'm in a party. I am in a party. Party! Why, hello there. Here we are looking at a measuring device. Really useful for pixel art. This is my own design. I would say invention, but I'm kind of sure I learned some of this kind of stuff back in DT even, design technology. Obviously, this stuff here is extra planes, man. I don't think we did all that because we was working on a flat surface, but this is kind of like, if you wanted to build architecture and shit, you could measure it from every angle. Once you go all four corners, obviously, you get yourself a cube, and then you can measure from any side into the central points, wherever you like, really. Build up the post from any of these colours. Colours are colour coded. 1 and 9 relates to each other because of the times table. 2 and 8, 3 and 7, 5 is its own number with 10, and 6 and 4 correlate to each other because of the timetable. If you're wondering what I mean by that, 7 and 3 are the times table of each other backwards. So like if you went 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, like 10 times 3 basically, you'd get the 7 times table backwards, minus the 10s, because 7 is like, once you minus the 10s it would be 7, 4, 1, 8, I mean my brain's going stupid, 5, 2, 9, it goes all the way up, but either way, man, if you run back to front and you just take out the 10s, you'll see what I mean on a bit of paper. It's a lot easier to explain on a bit of paper. These are just patterns, certain number of squares per, like obviously 9 squares, that makes that shape. Trying to work with memory and ideas of shapes, really. Possibly, I'm not sure with the 10 whether to keep that like that. I like the idea of the fact that it's the same shape as the 5, just slightly bigger. Same with the 3s, I've got the 3s going as double triangles, but bigger. And the ones that relate to each other, they're down triangles, one's bigger, obviously because it's a bigger number. The 2 is the same idea, really. You've got 1, 2, that makes a block of 2, 2 separate ones, and then like the fact because they're 2 separate lines, and that's a double block, makes, you know, all 9 are there, that's a square. Just relating the idea of numbers to shapes, really. It makes it a lot easier if you like, if you train that way, your brain starts to think that way. And you'll see what I mean here, like well, like here we go. Say this is number 1. Yellow starts as 1. It's also a 9. And you'll see that on that grid there because it works on that pattern. But the 1 will never be followed by it will always be followed the opposite way around. So I mean, like it goes backwards. So it starts off with the 1, that'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 6, because the changes, 6 relates to the 4. See, and then the red relates to that one, and that one relates to that one, and then that one relates to that one. But because of the way that they're structured, you can never accidentally get fucked up, because of you know for a fact that if there's a yellow in front of this screen, it has to be a yellow after the green. The same as the blue. So there's a blue in front of the green, it has to be a blue after the green. And that allows you to always know where you are and whether you've got the right order, because the numbers, they'll always be in the same order. You can never mess up the order. If you mess up the order, it tells you you've got it wrong, because the pattern will be different in the colours. example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 10. Then it starts at 1 again, see, because there's double yellow. When you get to the 5s, you've got a double blue. So every time it's on the blue, you know you're in the 5s. And every time you're on a yellow, you know you're in the 10s. Then all you have to do is count these ones. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the way up there. And you've got yourself 100 block square, 1,000 blocks. Makes it very easy if you want to like do measuring devices and things like this. Like these are basically just rub out tape measures. Pop that on there. Give me a nice guide from there's the centre of the thing. Perfect centre. Can come in any size, any side I like, from any direction. Count in to read the counter. So it's like 25 in. 25 in on that side. It gives me a perfect grid for making my nice square, whatever I want to make here. If I want to make it shorter on one side, I just shorten the length if I come on one side, or longer on the other. Obviously once I start adding in other planes, we're going to have the option to be able to change that direction on every plane. We'll get all 4, hopefully trying to make a total 3D version, so that you can essentially build a sculpture from, like, well, as long as you need the blocks, you could potentially make any kind of sculpture if you had the right number of blocks to put where. Because you could use the sides to measure from the distance of every angle, get a total I don't even know if you call it 3D, because it's on it's on like 8 or 9, well it's probably on like 16 planes, isn't it? So it'd be well beyond 3D, I suppose. Also just adding in some other bits like there's a bit of the Roman numerals. I'm probably going to put an L in the centre up here with the green, and a C at the end there, possibly also an M because of the fact that it's 1,000 blocks, and M's for millennium, C for century, L for 50. So I've got a little X down there, that's 10. There, but I'll probably stick one there as well, just to clarify that that's 10 blocks. 10, just to make people who don't understand. I think most people understand Roman numerals, but you never know. And yeah, I'm intending to use pistons to push this off. So when this picture's done, I just put a row of pistons in front of it, push the fucker 20 blocks. Bob's your uncle. Nice clean whiteboard, ready for the next picture. I hope this helps anybody that's into design technology or anything like that. Maybe you can find a use for this. It's basically it's just count 100 blocks either way, make a square, and then you build up the numbers next to it. These things are all just for my own personal. That's just something I'm into with maths and stuff. That's not like relevant to the actual needs of this thing. Just I find shapes and make things easier. Like can't lie, I'm actually rather impressed with this. It's my first attempt at doing anything like that. This is just a few different window ideas. Not really been working on these properly yet. Just threw them up just to show. Like if you want to build windows, really, you want to do depth, not multi-layered. They don't really. As a general rule, I've always found windows look really rubbish when you have one layer walls. Or you have to use panes like that. Like if you go for triple layer walls, you want to start going into blocks. You use the blocks and then you do a layer in front to get the detail. That would be submerged then. But if you have the slices, you get a situation where you have like that situation where there's a big gap. It just looks a bit silly, to be fair. Like I kind of left that in there as an example, to be honest. But it can have advantages. There are times when sometimes you want that, when you might have a reason for that. Like, I don't know, I don't really know what reason you might have, but there are moments when you could find that you want that kind of indent, I guess. Personally, it doesn't really appeal to me. It's not my kind of idea as an aesthetic look. Like this, I think this looks really good. It's just a staircase upside down on the staircase the right way up on top of each other. Gives you a nice little protrude. Like, these are steps in a little square shape, and then that's basically a face wall, just to give it some shape. As a general rule though, any window that's too wide with knucks on them in that, they generally don't turn out too well. Like this one, I think it looks pretty crap. Usually you're better off to build a window shape and then build a frame in front of the window to show off what's behind it, really hidden. You can get a lot more detail out of them that way. These are just really basic stuff. This one was a little bit of an idea. I put some ice blocks down here, and when the ice melted it left me a little water channel. I thought that was pretty, well, I don't know, it's different. I'm going to have to delete it though, because it's right through the middle of my measuring device. I do like the effect though, I think it looks pretty cool. Oh there, let me explain that one a little bit more. Like, if you've got green before blue, obviously it's 6. But if you have red before the blue, you're looking at a 4. It's the same sort of principle with all of them really. Like, if you have the green before the yellow, it's a 1. If you have the blue before the yellow, it's a 9. Same with the red. Whatever colours happens to be before it, like in this case it's that one, so that one would be a 3 because that's the 2, but in this one it's the opposite order because of the fact that it goes backwards. So if the blue's before the red, that means it's the 6, well, it means it's the 7 even. The blue's the 6, so I got confused, but it means the red's the 7. So light blue 3, dark blue 7. And this pattern runs all the way along here with the same colour idea, basically. Like, once you understand that I mean, it takes a little while to get your brain around that, but once your brain sort of relates to that idea, it means you can just look at any colour really and know exactly where you are. You don't have to look and count and check the numbers, because you can just look at the colour and look at the colour in front of it and say, oh, well, it can't possibly be this number because the colour before is this colour. Like, for example there, look, that can't possibly be anything but a 9 because of that in front of it. But on this side here, and you've got your, this is 1, so this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Anyway, that's my design technology tool, so if anybody out there would like to make use of it, feel free. hope it helps.